Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about Steel Castle Melficia, or Itemworld as most people call it. At the start of the video I'm just going to real quickly show you my updated auto clear team using Berserk just as an example, and then we're going to spend the rest of the video talking about just some generalized suggestions about things to run in Itemworld. So I've already started a run, and I'm just going to show you the last 3 levels for the team I'm using. It's pretty much just the same team I used to use, just optimized a little bit. So we're going to be using the Final Fantasy X2 girls for our auto Berserk because they are AoE tag chaining. So Yuna X2 and Pain X2. You can also use Riku X2 as well. Make sure you're using them in their shift form. But I like Yuna and Pain because Yuna's a mage. Some of the enemies have lower spirit than defense, and then Pain is a slightly higher modifier than Riku before Riku does her setup, which you're obviously not doing with the Berserk party. We're still using Dark Fina and Ihana. Dark Fina is for the automatic buffing of stats AoE. Ihana is for the automatic buffing of killers. And we've swapped out I used to have a unit to, finish off floor 10 when the Berserkers didn't kill floor 10. But with this new setup, at least so far, I have never had a floor where it didn't just auto win with Berserk. So we swapped out the auto breaker for Elisperis, who does an automatic 85 break by default, which makes it really, really easy to auto clear these floors. I'll show you the gear and all in a moment, but let's get in here and I'll show you the gear when we start. Let's start a clear, and I'll show you the gear and just show you some examples. So before they go ahead and auto kill, so Pain in the shift form is using dual wield. We're using a fire weapon and Avenger. Other than that, just some attack gear. So crystal gloves to activate her trust mastery. Orange Jug because it gives her a 500 extra attack. Berserker's Dress Sphere because it boosts the modifier of her normal attack. Some true dual wield gear. We're using a lot of demon killer stuff so that we have maxed out demon killer because floor 10 is always a demon and floor 10 is the strongest floor. And we are using the dual wield card. If you don't have this, just gear her the best you can and it'll be okay. And then Yuna is using a fire weapon as well, dual wielding Berserk, Yeti style. By the way, Yeti style is important on both of them. It literally doubles their Berserk damage. So there you go. Some true dual wield gear for magic. There it is. And then we're using just a dual wielding card. Ihana. Honestly, could be completely naked, but just in case we ever don't kill a boss, she's geared with an auto-resurrect AoE card, and then just, extra gold, because why not? Dark Fina is using Leave Things to Me for the automatic Greatsword in Peril and Fire in Peril. If you don't have this card, just give someone Obsidian Bracer. It'll do the same thing. Slightly lower in Peril, but it should still be fine. Other than that, again, just, stuff. And then Elisperis is, again, just in case we ever don't kill a boss. She's geared for passive provoke, evasion, full immunity, etc. But again, like I said, we've never had a clear where we didn't actually auto-berserk the boss. So this is like just a backup plan, just in case someday. But as you see, with the new setup, especially with Elisperis' 85 break automatic, it's a really big damage gain for doing that because they don't have passive stats. So we'll do the last 2 floors, and then I'll go into and start talking about some priority upgrades in Itemworld. So for this, I'm trying to get maximized attack power. HP defense would be nice, but no, we're going for a pure attack power build. I'd like the 40%. The 35 will work as well, or the 30. But yeah, we'll talk about some example stuff after this floor. So here's the final boss. No, it's not. I can't count. This is Petruk. I can't say that name. It's not the final boss. In any case, as you may have heard or noticed, they fixed the rates for global, so you'll see a lot more rare enchantments these days, as opposed to before. It was very, very low. It felt like under 1%. These now look at this. Look at this. Another special rare. But again, we're going for attack power on this one. We're not going for bulk. And last floor, and then I'll go and start showing some items and all that kind of stuff. And here's the final floor. The final floor is always a demon. I think Olivier is actually the bulkiest one for this set. I think he's fire resistant. There's no way for me to check with Berserk, but in any case, as you saw, we overkilled it by a good amount. So yeah, this team should always win with auto Berserk, so no input needed. And let's see if we get our 40% attack power enchantment. Sure did. We got that HP Spirit rare 3 times in a row. But oh well, we've got 70% attack power on the fist. That's good enough. It could be better though. I'll keep running it. Anyway, let's go ahead and go pop out of here, and I will show you some example. Might take a moment, as you've seen. If you watch my live streams, you know that anything involving the home screen involves like a small freeze on my recording. But okay, so the equipment. Okay, so what are some good weapons to enchant? So I will say, in the majority of cases, Itemworld enchantments are, for the most part, just a luxury. Nearly all of the modern day units that you're going to be using will cap out their stats with just like a vision card, maybe a double hand materia that has attack or magic on it, like Kefka Zestimar, or Zack Zestimar, A2 Zestimar, something like that. And that's usually, honestly, going to just max out the attack power or the magic of just about every single modern day unit. So if you just don't even run Itemworld and run completely unenchanted weapons, it'll be fine. So for a lot of weapons, I actually like to just stick like bulk on them. Like you'll notice this weapon right here. I'm trying to run two fists. One of them I'm trying to get high attack power, and for most of my weapons, I just run bulk because they don't need the extra attack and magic for the most part. Not always now. So like right here, HP Spirit, HP Defense, and then 20 HP. So we got 60 HP, Spirit, Defense, etc. And yeah, like Renegade right here. Well, this one is kind of like a mix. This one, I think, right here. Well, I got kind of a mix on both. Well, when I saw the attack magic 30 on apparently both versions, I just went ahead and grabbed it. Like here's Rick's sword. This one I only ran one time ever back before the fix, so it's just whatever I saw. But again, I went for pure bulk options, bulk, MP, LB fill, that kind of stuff, because units don't need more attack power or spirit in the majority of cases. Like here's Barrel's weapon. Apparently I was only offered 2 bulk mods, and I grabbed an attack power mod because why not? You get the idea. Now, there are some exceptions like I mentioned. Now, the reason I'm trying to get high attack power on this fist is because sometimes, especially for fist weapons, you're going to want to give these to a unit that doesn't naturally want to use fist. For example, putting this on Veritas of the Frost, making him dual wield fist. That means he's going to lose all of his passives, and he'll lose a lot of attack power. So for weapons that you might put on non-synergistic units, you're going to want high passives to make up the difference. Now, also, I've seen a lot of comments of people talking about Neovisions Plus, because Neovisions Plus comes with a 600% stat cap, and it's going to be really hard to gear that, etc. Honestly, that's incorrect. That is false information. Most of the Neovisions Plus units are still very, very easy to cap their stats. They, like, by default, come with like 450%. You get an extra 80% from your vision card. You get an extra like 50 to 100% from your true double hand or your true dual wield materia, and you're at the cap with like all your slots open. The exceptions are the older Neovisions Plus Awakened units. For example, Avalanche Tifa, being almost 2.5, 3 years old at this point, she has very low attack power passives. So someone like Avalanche Tifa is going to really want a really high attack power fist because she doesn't cap it very easily. But the Neovisions Plus units, the new ones, they come with very high passives, and they're very easy to cap out item world regardless. For the most part. Again, there's always exceptions. Now, the big major exceptions for item worlds, the weapons that really desperately want the best item world enchant, are units that are using a MP scaling attack, like the Meteor units. Genesis, Tyvis, if you're still using them, X-Death, Golbez, Onion Knight, etc. Now, for these kind of weapons, you're going to want as much MP as possible. These are not as easy to cap. So you'll notice on my Genesis sword, we've got 40% MP, 20 MP and Magic, a rare, and then 20 MP and Spirit, a rare. So you don't need the rares, just the 20 is fine. But what you really want is this one right here, the MP 40%. This is the old whip rare. So this, and then 20% from 2 more sources is what you want. The best you can get on a MP weapon is 80%. And that's what you want. So the ones you're going to want that for are Genesis' sword. You're going to also want it, if you can get it, on the Dark Vision's magical double-handed sword. Because Genesis, oftentimes, if you're able to cap the killers on Genesis, this will deal more damage than his STMR, but it is harder to gear because then you're forced to use his TMR, which most of the time is a dead slot. But, against a lot of races, Genesis can still do that, and this will be better. So as you see right here, I didn't go for full rare. I just got MP 20, Magic 20, MP 40, and then I got the regular old MP 20. That's totally fine. Good enough. So another one would be Tyvis's STMR. I've got 2 of them. I think this is the magic one. Nope, that's the generic one. Here we go. So for this one, this is, I ran this before the fix, so I didn't run it all. So I got 40, I got 20, and then I got 15. So we're 5% short of the maximum, but I got tired of running it before the fix. Good enough for me. But honestly speaking, he, for the most part, caps his MP with just that, so that's fine. So another one would be the double-handed Dark Vision's Rod. Now this one's less important because, again, the only Meteor units that really matter are Genesis and Tyvis. Tyvis is going to want to always use his STMR. Genesis will always want to use either his own STMR or the Dark Vision sword. You're rarely ever going to use the Dark Vision's Rod, but if you're still using like Onion, Golbez, X-Death, etc., they might use this depending on the party. So for this one, if you want the best possible Meteor weapon, you can go all MP. But like I said, for the most part, the main Meteor units are not going to use the Dark Vision's Rod. So I personally went for Magic. So Magic 35, MP 20, and then MP 20 Magic. So I guess I got 40% MP on it, so like kind of, but then I also got 55 Magic on it. So it's kind of like a mix. Like I can partially flex towards a Meteor build, but it's more for like a generalized build. And honestly, that's mostly it. Also tank weapons, I guess. I'm not even sure the name of tank weapons, but tank weapons, you again just want bulk. So for example, Abigail's STMR. For this one, for Abigail caps her Spirit and HP like by default, basically. Like her generic gear will cap it always. So I made this one for really high defense because Abigail doesn't cap her defense super easily. So defense 20, defense 10, defense 15. Obviously that can be a lot better if I rolled it more. And then I've got a second one. This is honestly for other magical tanks. Maybe I'm using Charlotte or something and I'm giving her Abigail's weapon. Then I got Spirit, and Spirit HP. That's for like, Charlotte, or if I'm using Maeve or some other magical tank, I'll give them the weapon. Sylvie's STMR is another one, just bulk. I didn't spend, I ran this one time. So, whatever. Spirit. Obviously, this could be way, way better. Just a matter of not that big a deal. And then as far as defense weapons, Sword of Light is the only really big one here. So for this one, you're going to want defense because a lot of physical tanks, especially the older ones like Runda, they don't cap it by default. So I've got 10. Okay, my enchantments are pretty bad on this one. I should run this again. It does have the 1 rare, but it's got 30 defense, 30 HP. That could obviously be better. It's just a matter of running it. But, yeah. And I guess if you're using Lilith, you might want to get some stuff on Lilith's STMR. I got bulk on it, 40, 10, and then HP, defense 20. So, yeah. But really, there's not a lot of major weapons you need to enchant. I guess the double-handed Dark Katana, I've got 50 attack power and then just a spirit on it, because why not? But yeah, you know, most of these weapons, like Hayo's Fist, again, I got bulk on it. I got 2 fists, actually. The other one has, again, just bulk. And then I saw the attack power 40. I'm like, you know, 40 attack power, why not? Grab it. So I grabbed that. Yeah, just, you know, whatever. It's not that big a deal. So the main thing is the meteor weapons. So get yourself a really good or perfect Genesis Sword, Dark Vision's Magical Sword, and Tyvis's Greatsword. You want those 3 weapons maxed out on MP or as good as you're willing to go. Other than that, it's not that big a deal. You know, if you're ever wondering and unsure what to go with, just go with the weapon's main stat. So if you're, for example, going to run, just as a random example, if you're going to run Dark Aldebaran, it's an attack power weapon, so you can't go wrong with pure attack power modifiers. You know, it may be overcap, it may be wasted, but, you know, at the very least, it's an attack power weapon, so therefore the unit using it is going to want attack power. You know, Splash Knuckles, attack power. You get the idea. Anyway, hope it helps. See you in a bit.